So let me read you the chapter known as 1 from the Talmud. That's Rabbinical Judaism. Talmud. The mud and the towel. The Talmudic construction of a religio-national life. The intuitive cognition, the prophetic tendency. The Talmudic conception of achievements, essence, and spirituality. But for whom, you might ask? First sentence. From earliest times, the Jew was the only one to grasp intuitively the concept of monotheism, of a God who was basically without corporeality and without form, without beginning and without end. The national historical imagination of the divine revelation and relationship to the Jewish people pictures Abraham intuitively perceiving God and making an eternal covenant with him, binding the Jews to him and making them his chosen people. Because of this spontaneous cognition, God promised Abraham and later reaffirmed it to Isaac and Jacob that from among all the peoples of the earth, he would choose Abraham's children as his own beloved people, as a holy and consecrated people. Since the divine part of the covenant is eternal and unbroken, so therefore is the Jew also forever bound to this covenant. The fact that on Mount Sinai the Jews said that they would first do and then listen shows that there had existed between the two parties a previous understanding. The act of cognition itself came to the Jews purely intuitively, with little searching or seeking, negotiation or bargaining. The Jew perceived God primarily emotionally and intellectually through his feelings and his thoughts, and a covenant came into being as a result. As soon as the Jew apprehended himself, grasped his own inner essence and being, he also apprehended the divine power. Both God and Jew then became a single unity, and their relations became personal and filial. God is the Father and the Jew is his chosen child. The relation had not always remained the same. In times of human corruption, God became a God of revenge. He became the implacable ruler and the Jew his slave. When a formalized morality and ethics evolved, God became a God of mercy and sympathy. He is still the ruler, but his rule is paternal, full of love and compassion. It was possible for the Jews to develop this relationship because the deity and Judaism were never conceived as a dogma, but as a vital necessity for the unique existence of the people. That's why the Torah and its regulations of daily life are of such great moment, that's how they write it, for Judaism. The sages of the Talmud, they who gave the Jew his perfect form of uniqueness and divergence from other peoples, have more fully and deeply developed this conception. The Gemara declares God is different from man. When a man mints coins from a pattern, they are all alike. But the deity has molded man from one pattern, and yet they are all dissimilar. And according to the Talmud, differences are physical and external, spiritual and innate. Difference is individuality and exists in an individual as well as in a people. Only when there is consciousness of disparity do the people possess individuality and integrity. When the consciousness of difference is destroyed, then the people cease to exist. The Jew spontaneously apprehended the idea of the deity and espoused it emotionally and intellectually. What was lacking, however, was the link with the national instinct. Let me read that again. What was lacking, however, was the link with the national instinct. This crystallization came later, at first through the prophets, and later in more complete form through the sages of the Talmud. Although the biblical religio-ethical idea, as well as the Bible itself, later became the spiritual possession of most civilized nations, only the Jewish people became historically indissolubly linked with it. Again, this was made possible only by the Talmud. To remain at the level of the prophets with its spiritualism was virtually impossible for a people possessing a healthy national instinct for survival. We might have evolved into a sort of supranational group, but certainly not into a living nation. A profound allegory in the Midrash relates Moses had intended to inscribe also the unwritten law, but since he perceived with divine instinct that the other nations of the world would claim that they are the true believers, the true sons of Israel, with whom God made a covenant, God gave him an unmistakable sign. Whoever possesses my secret is the true Jew. The Talmud, expounding the written law, is the secret which distinguishes the Jews from all other peoples. This also makes it clear why all tendencies in the direction of divorcing the Talmud from Jewish life were bound to suffer an ignominious defeat. Their healthy national instinct has always, without much difficulty, severely liquidated these processes of separation. A false view of the Talmud and its significance has been pressed on us by the Gentiles. To them, that means the Goyim, to them, the Talmudists were legalists and dry pedants who would not perceive real life nor understand it. This view has its source in the beginning of Christianity and has since stood in open conflict with the Jewish way of life. The Talmudic affirmations have firmly distinguished Christianity from Judaism and have since incurred attacks. The instinct of the Jewish people has always been healthy and has always clearly perceived that by seeking to create a gap between them and the Talmud, their religio-spiritual life, an attempt is made on their very existence, on their national continuity. When the Talmud was burned in Rome or in Spain, in Germany or in Poland, the object was not to burn books but to destroy the Jewish spiritual creative processes and thus undermine the very existence of the Jewish people. Hard stop. Now we go to the first chapter of the Noble Quran, English translation. Surat al-Fatiha. I don't speak Arabic, doesn't matter. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. All praise and thanks are Allah's, the Lord of the Alameen, mankind, jinn, and all that exists. Mankind is specific, just so you be clear. The most gracious, the most merciful, the only owner, and the only ruling judge, there's a lot of parentheses in this book, of the day of recompense, i.e., the day of resurrection. You alone we worship, and you alone we ask for help for each and everything. Guide us to the straight way, the way of those on whom you have bestowed your grace, not the way of those who earn your anger, i.e., those whose intentions are perverted. They know the truth, yet do not follow it, nor those who went astray, i.e., those who have lost the true knowledge so that they wander in error and are not guided out to the truth. Right? Next section. Surat al-Baqarah, the cow, in the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Alif Lam Mim. These letters are one of the miracles of the Quran, and none but Allah alone knows their meanings. This is the book of the Quran, whereof there is no doubt of guidance to those who are al-Muttaqun, the pious believers of Islamic monotheism who fear Allah much, abstain from all kinds of sins and evil deeds which He has forbidden, and love Allah much, perform all kinds of good deeds which He has ordained, who believe in the Ghaib, and perform as-salat, ikamat as-salat. Again, I don't speak no Arabic. And spend out of what we have provided for them, i.e. give zakat, spend on themselves, their parents, filial piety, right? Children, their wives, etc. So apparently the Jew and the Muslim got that in common. Then also give charity to the poor and also in Allah's cause, jihad. That's translated as holy war. That's internal, not external, just to be clear. And who believe in that, the Quran and the Sunnah, which has been sent down, revealed to you, Muhammad, and in that which was sent down before you, the Torah, and the Injil, gospel, etc. And they believe with certainty in the hereafter, resurrection, recompense of their good and bad deeds, paradise and hell. Let me read that again. And they believe with certainty in the hereafter, resurrection, recompense of their good and bad deeds, paradise and hell. They are on true guidance from their Lord, and they are the successful. Verily, those who disbelieve, it is the same to them whether you, O Muhammad, warn them or do not warn them, they will not believe. Allah has sent a seal on their hearts. Let's see that again. Allah has set a seal on their hearts and on their hearing. They are closed from accepting Allah's guidance. That's also in your Christian Bible. And on their eyes, there is a covering. Theirs will be a great torment. Okay. And of mankind, there are some hypocrites who say, we believe in Allah on the last day, while in fact they believe not. They think to deceive Allah and those who believe, while they only deceive themselves and perceive it not. In their hearts is a disease of doubt and hypocrisy, and Allah has increased their disease. A painful torment is theirs because they used to tell lies. And when it is said to them, make not mischief on the earth, they say, we are only peacemakers. Verily, they are the ones who make mischief, but they perceive not. And when it is said to them, hypocrites, believe as the people, followers of Muhammad, Al-Ansar and Al-Muhajirun have believed, they say, shall we believe as the fools have believed? Verily, they are the fools, but they know not. And when they meet those who believe, they say, we believe. But when they are alone with their shayatin, devils, polytheists, hypocrites, they say, truly we are with you. Verily, we were but mocking. Allah mocks at them and gives them increase in their wrongdoing to wander blindly. These are they who have purchased error for guidance. So their commerce was profitless, and they were not guided. Their likeness is as the likeness of one who kindled a fire. Then, when it lighted all around them, Allah took away their light and left them in darkness, so they could not see. They are deaf, dumb, and blind, so they return not to the right path, or like a rainstorm from the sky, wherein is darkness, thunder, and lightning. They thrust their fingers in their ears to keep out the stunning thunderclap for fear of death. But Allah ever encompasses the disbelievers. Allah will gather them all together. The lightning almost snatches away their sight. Whenever it flashes for them, they walk therein, and when darkness covers them, they stand still. And if Allah had willed, He could have taken away their hearing and their sight. Certainly, Allah has power over all things. Then it goes on to say, O mankind, worship your Lord Allah, who created you and those who were before you, so that you may become al-mutakun, the pious. Christian Bible, New Testament, Old Testament, right? Testament has the meaning of what? What's the meaning of the word testament? Gotta look at it. New, they say nothing new under the sun. Old, they never tell you what's old other than the ancient of days. So, here's a quote from the Bible. Behold, New Testament. The days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt. For as much as they broke my covenant, although I was Lord over them, saith the Lord. But this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my law in their inward parts, and in their heart will I write it. And I will be their God, and they shall be my people. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord, in quotes. For they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith the Lord. For I will forgive their iniquity, and their sin will I remember no more.